My sister just pulled up. So this is me like 4 days later. I didn't know how I wanted to put this out there. I wanted to make it all nice and beautiful. And then I realized I was like, I really just like to sit, turn on the camera, and talk. So I hope you guys enjoyed. These are my thoughts on dealing with alcohol, weed, drugs, just when it comes to the conscious awakening journey. Okay, we got the thinking cap on today because my hair's not done, honestly. And I'm on my period and I'm just being a true Taurus, you know? There's beauty in the ugly parts of life, but we make them beautiful because they are aligned to ourselves. Wow, I couldn't even let myself. I couldn't even let myself. So I want to preface this video with some words. When it comes to spirituality, I need all of us to understand that we are in the now. We are in present times. We are the modern spiritualist, okay? And I'm careful with even saying, you know, modern, blah, 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 because a lot of people are like, oh my God, don't try to put that new age. Whoa, relax. All it is the same thing happening right now. It's just it has a filter of the present times, okay? And so when we think about our conscious awakening journey, I would say spiritual journey, and I mean, I still could, but sometimes when people hear the word spiritual, they automatically put you in a certain box. And a lot of my content is to allow you different avenues in thinking about the same thing that all makes up spirituality. Being living, just breathing, waking up in the morning, you are spiritual just by existing, quite think. So, going back, I think about spiritual journeys and how they have been viewed, and a lot of people, you know, hermit mode it out, introspection mode, connect, you know, veiling, doing all that stuff. All of that is very true. It's the more, not traditional way, but it was the foundation that was laid for tapping into that energy before. But all of those yogis, the Buddhists, the monks, they've all laid the groundwork for us to now include the dualistic aspect of life, okay? And so when people are getting on their spiritual journey, they have this idea that they have to stop doing all of the things that are human and just become one with God, with consciousness, with the universe, your higher self, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That is true, but balance, babe. We are still living the human experience. When it comes to things like alcohol, this leads me into my the idea of this video. Someone reached out to me. They said, I think it would be lovely and so dope if you also did a video on drugs and alcohol, specifically alcohol and the social spiritual impact it has on today's world. I've been sober from alcohol for a year and it was the greatest spiritual decision I've made. Amazing. It is for a lot of people, but this is the thing that I want us to get into. That is not everybody's decision. That is not everybody's alignment, right? A lot of people have to completely get rid of alcohol, but that's also based off of their quantitative aspects. That's based off of the mechanism that the system that that they've ingrained into their brain, to where alcohol just doesn't, it's not a piece in the puzzle, right? Although alcohol is something that is lower in vibration, it is also something that is a tool. Everything in this material aspect was made by an intelligent being that saw value in it. Now, I'm not flinging all around here saying, you know, take a bunch of shots of Patron, you know, and fucking go find your purpose. If you want to do that, and if you can do that, absolutely do it, because that's what's made for you, right? But when it comes to alcohol and beginning your spiritual awakening, we have to think back to what alcohol like kind of represents. And it does represent us going down to a lower vibrational state. And we are told that at a lower vibrational state is not where we want to be. But the thing is, consciousness is a dualistic aspect. Consciousness is light and dark. Consciousness is high vibrational and it is also low vibrational, right? But you need both in order to quite literally exist as one. That's when we start getting, you basically need both sides, and then also, you know, this middle part that has, you know, this mix between both. That's why I always say the Trinity within me. To not go too deep into that right now, I think about how, yes, there's going to be moments where you dip into the lower vibrational energy. Life is a frequency wave, baby. We can't always be up here, and to be up here, we need to be down here to then appreciate when we're up here again, right? But we also have to understand what tools, what pieces we need to put in our backpack for the trip, what tools align with where we are in this moment. Sometimes not sometimes, for the most part, people who do have alcohol in their life, when we get on our spiritual awakening, we realize, oh, alcohol, we want to turn it away, right? Because what it is alcohol served its purpose for that part of our life, but now we're being asked to cleanse, essentially, go down, or understand our lower vibrational moments and how we are there based off of our own accord. And to understand that, you usually have to remove a bunch of stuff, alcohol being one of them, smoking, drinking, all of those things that keep you in the lower vibrational energy. When you are trying to get to a higher vibrational energy, to take away a lower vibrational aspect out of your life, it's as simple as that. But taking out, saying that your life is, let's just, be dramatic, to say that your life is so low vibrational, to just pull away alcohol, it doesn't do enough. So it's like you need to do other things. But there's only so much you can do to pull away from you until you have to take responsibility for you being in that moment for yourself. You can't always put, oh, I'm in this low vibrational because I drink alcohol. No, babe. Alcohol is its own entity. Just like you are your own entity, just like I am Yemane as a piece of consciousness, so is the alcohol. I'm looking at this, hold on. A friend of mine got this for my birthday. I love Basil Hayden, dark rye. I am really into whiskey and I love beer. But from my job, I was a cocktail waitress in Vegas. I worked at a place where the theme was all about prohibition. So I learned a lot about whiskey, prohibition era, to where I actually see some type of value in alcohol. I don't like the taste of alcohol. I'm not willingly going out, but I do see value in it. And as a Taurus, I go where I see value in things, especially as a Taurus Mars, doing things that I see value, that bring me value. So back to me turning into this energy reader, into full-time content creating, quitting my job that brought me a lot of money. Man, I was good at cocktailing, but it's like I saw that I basically learned everything that I could. And now thinking about it right now, even in this moment, doing this stream of consciousness here for you, when it comes to things that have come in the past that have been asked for our attention, that are asking for our attention, I learned about all of that for what? It wasn't for no reason. It's the same thing when I was going to school to get a degree for early childhood education. I learned that from a reason, and now it's coming into play. I'm now understanding, literally right now, I'm having this stream of consciousness and it's clicking in my brain that perhaps I was meant to understand and be this person and be put into all of these different avenues, rave partying lifestyle, smoking weed, drinking alcohol. And this is actually where I'm being completely vulnerable. I told a session this one time, but I have done, like, wow, this is tough for me to just open up, but I have done hard drugs before because I do enjoy raves or whatever, but that is the experience. There's a time and place for things, and I had to quickly learn that and understand that when it came to balancing spirituality and who Yemane was in this lifetime. Yemane is someone that enjoys the finer things in life. I enjoy a nice whiskey sour. Anyway, I enjoy the craft that goes into understanding how liquor is made and yada yada yada. That is something that is valuable to Yemane as a conscious being. But to the next person, someone who has different life, different traumas than me, to someone that reached out to me, I've been sober for yada. I don't know their story. They didn't fully tell me out, but who knows? Maybe they've had a parent that has come from addictive habits when it comes to alcohol, to where alcohol actually invokes some type of trauma within them that or that they're trying to avoid, or that they just don't want to be around, because it reminds me of them. Everybody has their different things, to where maybe someone will see the value in whiskey just like I do, but it's not, they not to say that they are strong enough minded, but they realize that it does not align with them at all. There's literally no reason for them. And perhaps, for me being able to talk about these things, the person that I am now, I'm giving advice and information, but I'll tell you these all the time, I only give information based off of my own life experiences. I am still okay. I am still able to pull myself out. I'm not drinking and going out, but I do experience life because that is what life is supposed to be. But the life that I'm experiencing, that I'm doing, is aligned with who Yemane is. Yemane is this dualistic aspect that can tell you about consciousness. I can sit and jab about quantum physics after even even one cocktail. And sometimes I also understand, though, from doing the work, from finding my own abundance, that I can do the same things and be the same Yemane without alcohol. I learned that alcohol is not a crutch. Drugs are not a crutch. Sometimes I do want it because it amplifies the experience, because at the end of the day, I'm seeking the experience. But when something outside of me, like a cocktail, like weed, starts to overstay its welcome, starts to overstay its welcome and start to keep me in that lower vibrational energy, to where now I feel bound by this thing. I feel addictive. I have addictive tendencies. I come from a family of addiction. My mom passed away. My mom's mom passed away. She from a drug addiction. Honestly, I'm going to be open with that. I'll have to ask my mom if she's okay with me sharing about this. But I want you guys to understand, you know, I come from a place where my mom was not open to drugs. She was not open to psychedelics or anything. I learned and found that out on my own, but also with understanding the way that I grew up, it was always about safety. It was always about, you know, making sure my energy was protected. Grew up a very sheltered person, to where entering into positions to where learning about alcohol, getting into the rave scene and all those other things, I had a strong enough mind to understand when to say no, to understand when to say yes, to where I didn't fall into those things. And sometimes I actually started to, when I started to gain traction on TikTok, I started to not want to, I don't want them to know that I drink alcohol. Why? Why do you not want them to know something that is important to me, that is valuable to me? I don't need it. But that's the thing. I recognize that I don't need it. I recognize when I can still do the same thing without this. And I believe spiritual journey is understanding when you can do that, but not just alcohol, not just drugs. It's people. It's habits. It's being able to be so strong in the mind and understand that your actions, your habits are the reason why you are where you are. It's being able to take responsibility and make a decision, act accordingly.